Hey everybody! So today we're going to talk some more about the Arabic parts, or the lots, or the pars. You've probably seen these stylized a whole bunch of different ways. Today though we're going to talk about the Lot of Nemesis, which is one of the 7 Hermetic lots, or the Lot of Saturn. That's also what it's known as. Here are the formulas. The top formula is for a day chart. The bottom formula is for a night chart. And there's an example too. And I will post a picture. I will post a link of this picture and of a picture of the 360 degree zodiac. So you can turn the degrees of the planets to the 360 degrees. I'll post a picture to both. So you can take a look at these and calculate it yourself. On AstroSeek, somebody had mentioned AstroSeek has a big, massive master list of the different lots. They do. This one actually appears to be the same. Their Lot of Nemesis that they have on their website appears to be the same as the Lot of Nemesis that I'm calculating here. My advice, though, if you use their website to calculate the Lot of Nemesis, or really any of the lots, I think it's a good idea to also work them by hand. I just would. I think it's good practice. Double check your, I would just double check. I would make sure that what's popping up for you via the software is what you're getting by hand, or pretty close. If you do it by hand and you round, it might be a little different, but I would definitely check. I would definitely check to make sure it's in the same ballpark at least, within like a degree or so. Also, in the other videos I've done about this, I've mentioned what a day chart and a night chart, how to know which kind of chart you should be using, or which formula you should be using. If your sun is above the ascendant, it is a day chart. If it is below the ascendant, it is a night chart. So take a look at your chart and see where the sun falls. I'll tell you if you have a day or a night chart by where the sun is, and then you know which formula to use. So what is the Lot of Nemesis, or the Lot of Saturn? Pallas said, Nemesis becomes a contributing cause of subterranean fates and of everything which is ice cold, of demonstration, impotence, exile, grief, and quality of death. That is some fucking loaded shit. So, now, okay. Yes, it is a difficult lot. I won't bullshit you, there it is. It's a difficult lot. But I've mentioned this before. I don't take a fatalistic approach to anything when it comes to astrology. I don't think anything is absolutely set in stone. I really don't. I think there are lots of ways that things can play out and work out, especially depending on your own conditioning and transits that are going on, progression. Like, just looking at the chart itself, I just don't think anything is set in stone. So I don't think that, I am not comfortable saying that the Lot of Nemesis is always where your downfall is. I am comfortable saying that you should watch where the Lot of Nemesis is by sign and house, by aspects made, and by where the planetary ruler of the Lot of Nemesis falls in your chart. It's an area that should be watched and kept an eye on to make sure that it doesn't cause a downfall. I don't think it has to cause a downfall, though. I want to make that really clear. I don't think that it has to. But I do think that it might be kind of an area in your chart where you should watch what's going on there to make sure that you're not causing problems. You yourself are not causing problems in those areas, in the house by, areas of life, or in a way of the sign where the Lot of Nemesis falls, perhaps using some of the more dark side or shadow side qualities of the sign energy. Same thing with the planetary ruler of the Lot of Nemesis. I do think it should be watched, but I don't think that it necessarily means that the Lot of Nemesis is always going to fuck you, and not in a good way. I don't think it always has to go that way. But I do think that it should be watched. Now, you also want to, like I mentioned, take into consideration where the planetary ruler of the Lot of Nemesis falls. Like, for instance, mine is in, my Lot of Nemesis is at 25 Capricorn in the second house. So my Saturn is in Sagittarius, conjunct the ascendant. So I would be looking for the Lot of Nemesis. I would be looking at the second house, and I would be looking at where Saturn is in the first and the aspects that these make. Now, when you've got, you want to look at that too, but you do want to also focus on, first and foremost, where the Lot of Nemesis falls in the chart. Will give you an idea as to the areas of life that could be a downfall. Not that they will be, but that they could be. And then the sign that the Lot of Nemesis falls in might give you an idea as to how. So I don't know, I'll use myself as an example. I have the Lot of Nemesis at 25 Capricorn, like I said, in the second house. So second house can be a lot of things. It can be, it can be money. It can be resources. It can be values and self-worth too, and self-value. Capricorn, Capricorn is actually on the cusp of the second. So there can be kind of like a with Capricorn on the second. This is how it can manifest for me. It's kind of like a poor man's complex of like, and I don't mean money, but I mean even like of self-worth and self-value stuff. So I don't know, my lot being there, maybe I need to watch that. Maybe that's something that I need to watch out for. And especially with, in my case, with Saturn falling in the first house conjunct the ascendant, that ties my sense of self in even more. And it definitely fits. That might be more information than any of y'all really needed to know. Or even more than I might normally be comfortable sharing. But it does kind of fit here. So you can play around with your own chart though and see kind of how this works for you. Another thing you want to keep in mind, I mentioned this before in other videos, is the concept of aversion, which can actually make, in the case of the Lot of Nemesis, it's probably some of the lots, like the Lot of Love, you don't really want the planetary ruler of the Lot of Love to say be an aversion. But for like the harder lots, like the Lot of Nemesis or the Lot of Necessity, it's not always such a bad thing. And aversion is essentially when you've got, like, technically my chart, the planetary ruler of my Lot of Nemesis would be an aversion with, because Saturn is in Sagittarius and the Lot of Nemesis is in Capricorn. The sign over, the sign next to whatever sign your Lot of Nemesis is in, if the planetary ruler happens to be in one of those signs, that's considered aversion. Some people actually like to see an exact like 30 degrees. And then some people, I've seen it mentioned as if it's just in the sign over. So in my case, if Saturn had been in Aquarius, it also would be considered an aversion. Also the quincunx aspects, or like, I don't know, if my Saturn had been in, say, Gemini or in Leo, that would also be considered aversion. If you want to be more strict with that, though, and think of it as strictly like 30 degrees, like a semi-sextile, you could do that too. I don't see any reason why, just whatever you're most comfortable with, I suppose, because I've seen the definition listed as both. But if you have the planetary ruler of the Lot of Nemesis in aversion, this actually kind of, I wouldn't say it totally gets rid of the Lot of Nemesis, but it probably makes it easier, or I don't want to say cancels it out, because that's not really right, but I do think that it kind of blunts what could be more difficult, put it like that. I think it could blunt things a little bit. But yeah, definitely take a look at it in your own chart. If you have any thoughts on it, I'd love to hear them. I do think it's a good thing to know about, though, so that way you can keep an eye on it, so that you don't, it seems if a downfall can be avoided, we should try to avoid them, right? So this just, it seems like a good thing to know where it is so you can keep an eye on it. But again, want to make it very clear. I don't think that it necessarily has to cause your downfall. So don't be scared about it. Don't be scared of it or about it. Anyway, I'm going to get going. If you want to follow us on Instagram, you can find us at Let's Fuck With Astrology. I'm at Saturn Season Astrology on Instagram. Natalie is at Apaterno Astrology on Instagram. If you want to like or subscribe or whatever the fuck people do with videos on YouTube, you can find us by searching for Let's Fuck With Astrology in the YouTube search bar. And if you're watching this on YouTube right now, you can like and subscribe below. And if you do the Reddit thing, come join us on the subreddit Let's Fuck With Astrology. Okay, y'all. I'll see y'all later.